Hello, hello. Good evening, or welcome to this edition of the Cancer Coach Talks. If you're watching this in replay, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. You are welcome to leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe because we will be downloading more and more of these talks that we call the Cancer Coach Talks. So my name is Leslie Nance. I am a 6-year cancer survivor, certified holistic cancer coach, certified holistic nutritionist with a specialty in cancer or cancer nutrition, and also founder of Any Stage Cancer Nutrition Protocol. So thank you so much for watching this evening. If you're here live with us tonight, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Matthew. It's good to see you. Thank you for jumping in so quickly. We're going to talk about something tonight that I think that probably everybody knows about, but doesn't understand why it's not working for them. Like, you think it's a bunch of baloney because it's not working for me. And so I want to demystify that just a little bit tonight. And we're going to be talking about visualization and the number one reason that visualization may not be working for you. So it's good to have you guys here this evening. Hello, Anne. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, hello. Hi, Frank. Thank you guys for popping in here so quickly tonight. We're going to get started right away and try to respect your time tonight because I keep going over. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I keep going over. So a little bit about the Facebook group. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can join us at The Real Answers About Your Cancer over on Facebook. I'm the founder of that group. I'm also the moderator of that group, along with a couple of administrative people that help me there. And it is a group that is, hi, Mary, it's good to see you. It is a group that is designed for positivity. It's designed for support. It's designed for a big fat hug. So sometimes when we have cancer, it can be very isolating. It can make you feel very alone. It can make you feel like you're the only one in the world that has cancer. And we actually shed a little light on that in this group. And I just want to thank you guys for your beautiful messages this week in the group. You guys really uplifted me and just made me feel like a total rock star being here with every single one of you. Like, some days I feel like I don't deserve to get to work with such amazing people every single day. And it's such a pleasure. And I wish you didn't know me at all, because if you didn't know me at all, then you probably wouldn't have cancer. But since you do know me, let's make the very best of it and work on getting that cancer out of your body. So we're going to start tonight and talk a little bit about visualization. So how many of you here, so here's something that's very common. Here's something that happens that's very, very common. You are diagnosed with cancer, and then all of a sudden, I was just talking about, oh, I love that, Mary. Thank you so much. But all of a sudden, everybody, oh, thank goodness for you too, Anne. But all of a sudden, everybody around you becomes an expert. Does this happen to you? Like, you were diagnosed with cancer, and then everybody has a suggestion for you. Have you guys had that happen to you? Because I know it happened to me. I never had so many books. And hi, Terrence, it's good to see you. I never had so many books and blog posts, and hi, Walter, and blog posts and emails and crazy town stuff sent to me in all my life as when I was diagnosed with cancer. And everybody was so sweet. They were just trying to help me. They weren't doing it to be malicious. They were just trying to relate, and they were trying to help me. And one of the things that kept popping up over and over and over again was to utilize visualization to my advantage so that I could visualize myself healthy and well. And some of you have heard me talk about it here. Every once in a while, I touch on that subject. But there's a big reason that it's not working for you. And you might feel really frustrated by it, because I am here to tell you that visualization works. By the way, it works. And if it's not working for you, there's probably one giant screaming reason that there's not. So we're going to get to that in just a minute. But what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about why visualization is so effective. So As human beings, we are given something beautiful in our minds called the limbic system, Limbic, the limbic system. And this is basically our visceral or our visual brain. And this part of our brain is responsible for recording self-preservation incidences. This is getting kind of technical, I know, but hi Lisa, it's good to see you. But it's responsible for recording these self-preservation incidences in our lives. So it records stress and it records its effects. It records our happy emotions and our negative emotions and the effect that it has on our body. It records any type of sensation that you have in the body. Its job is to be the court reporter, essentially. I could never do that job, but that court reporter that's sitting there taking all the notes and storing it in your brain. And so our limbic system is something that's unique and beautiful, and it can work for you or it can work against you. It's kind of a double-edged sword, quite frankly. And so if you introduce a lot of stress to your limbic system and a lot of hopelessness and a lot of distress and a lot of feeling of guilt and anger and all the negative and loneliness, all of these negative emotions that we get when we get like you get the gift of these things when you get a cancer diagnosis. If you record all of those, then that has an effect on your visualization. However, if you introduce hope in the place of despair, even if you have to fake it till you make it, but you introduce hope instead of despair, guess what happens? You start to ignite your healing mindset, which is what we talked about on Tuesday, right? No, I have never heard of that, Walter. Nope, not ever heard of that. There's so much information out there. Good Lord, you could pour for years over all the information that is out there. And so, but if we replace that hopelessness and despair with hope and anticipation of healing and not anticipation of illness, then we ignite that limbic system to work for us instead of against us. And one of the best tools to do that is visualization. And so visualization is essentially, it can be many things actually for many different people, but it can be many different things. It can include meditation where you are quietly visualizing what your life looks like in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. What are you doing in 20 years? What are you doing in 5 years? And I invite every single one of my clients to do these exercises. What does your life look like in 20 years? Because most of the time when you're diagnosed with cancer, you don't even dare to think about that because you think, well, I'm never going to make it 20 years. Even my clients who are like in their 80s, I'm like, what does your life look like in 20 years? And they're like, huh? I'm like, what? You don't think you can live that long? You certainly have the capabilities. You have everything inside of you to make it that long. And so visualizing what your life looks like. Now, it could be a visualization where you're imagining your cancer treatments and you are visualizing what cancer looks like to you. You're visualizing what your treatments are doing inside the body to kill the cancer cells. You might visualize your healthy cells being unaffected and only the cancer cells being affected. You might visualize, like what your healthy diet looks like. And, like your optimal, like this is what I want my diet to look like. It could mean many, many things, quite frankly. And so it is the practice. Visualization is the practice of reminding your limbic system what you would like your outcome to be. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me? That's right. Are you guys with me so far? So, the number one reason that visualization does not work is this, is that you do all this work on all this visualization and you imagine what your life is like without cancer. My camera keeps going in and out of focus. Let me see if I can fix that. Nope. Hold on. Did it go back? There it goes. I'm like high-fiving you. High five. But you do all this work for imagining, and you spend hours throughout the week visualizing what your life is like without cancer. Not what your life was like before, but what is it like now after you have survived cancer? Or you visualize your treatments and what they're doing in your body, or you visualize your white blood cells, like moving cancer cells out of your body. And you do all of this work, and then you do nothing else. You do nothing else, or you do very little. If you do not support the intentions that you are setting up for yourself, your visualization skills will not work. I'll just give you a little scenario, and I just told this story earlier today, but I'm going to tell it again now. When I was a little girl, and you might have heard me say this because I tell this story often because I think it's such a great way to get this point across. But when I was a little girl, my mom came into my bedroom, and I was sitting cross-legged on my bed, and I had all my school books in my lap, and I had my eyes closed, and I had my hands on my school books, and I was praying, and I was asking, "Dear Lord, I just ask you that you help me pass my test tomorrow, because I have 2 tests and I haven't even studied for them. And so if you could just like implant those beautiful, answers in my brain so that I could pass these tests that I'm supposed to be studying out of this book that I'm praying over, that would be great." And my mom stood in my doorway. And when I opened my eyes, she was standing there, and and she said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Aren't you supposed to be studying?" And I said, "Well, I was just praying. I was just praying that God would give me the answers out of my book, that, like some sort of crazy, like spiritual osmosis." And she said, I'll never forget, my mom is such a precious woman. She put her hands on her hips and she said, "Leslie, that's not how this works." And I said, "What do you mean, Mom? If I pray," I was such a like faith of a child, right? "If I pray, then God will answer my prayers. I'm just like fully confident that that's what's going to happen." And she said, "No, Leslie, that's not how this works." And I said, "What do you mean, Mom?" And she said, "Leslie, you have to study. You have to do the work. You have to apply yourself. God will honor you and help you if you apply yourself." Oh, I see. I see. This is how it works. I still have to study, is what you're saying. As a kid, it felt like a really big bummer. But I took that lesson with me for the rest of my life, and not just for my spiritual sense, but for the rest of my life. If I want a strong, thriving business that promotes not just the gift of information, but truly is promoting transformations in people's lives, then I must do the work that it requires to have that business and to be effective in my messaging. And so visualization is no different. You can't sit and spend all this time. You just can't sit and spend all this time visualizing and visualizing and visualizing without doing the work that it takes to get to the thing that you want the most. If you are asking your body to heal, if you are telling your body every single day, "I want you to heal," but you're still living in your crappy lifestyle with your crappy mindset and your crappy food and not paying attention to your sleep patterns and your water intake and your bowel movements, and if you're not paying attention to all of those things and you're just praying and visualizing that you're going to be okay, it's not going to work. It is not how it works. You must give your body the tools that it needs to get the outcome that you want. Now then, when you marry the two, when you use the visualization and you empower all of those tools, you get your mind on straight, you get the confidence back in your life that you can beat this. You get your diet correct, you pay attention to your sleep habits, your stress levels, your movement levels. I mean, all of these things start to line up. Then you have ignited your body for healing. Hannah's saying God helps those that helps themselves, right? Exactly, Walter. Yeah. You must do the work. There's no way around it. There's no way around not doing the work to get the results that you want. You must do the work. Does that make sense? You guys with me? That's actually the end of my notes. What? I know. Okay, so I have about 10 minutes here left here tonight. So if anybody has any questions, we'll just do a quick Q&A. I hope you understand what I was dishing out tonight. So if you have any questions about this subject or any subject to do with cancer, I will answer them the best as possible. I will tell you that I am not going to be giving out any one-on-one diet recommendations. I just don't do that. That's like putting a Band-Aid on cancer. In fact, I'm getting ready to record a video that talks about why I can't give out willy-nilly diet information to individuals. And it's mostly because I am not because I'm stingy and not because I don't want you to heal, but because the way that I work with people is so one-on-one that anything else would be a Band-Aid. Anything else I would hand out would be a Band-Aid. So if you have a question, just type it in the comments and I will get to that before we leave here. So there you go. I love it, Terrence. That's a big comment. You guys can read it for yourself over there in the comment section. Examples of visualizations attacking cancer. Yeah, so I mean, that's a great question, Anne, by the way. Everybody has their different modalities. I have one client that visualizes minions attacking the cancer cells. Like that's how he sees his chemotherapy, his minions, and they're like attacking the cancer cells, which I think is hilarious. It really depends. You can actually physically draw out what you think your cancer looks like physically draw it, what you think your cancer looks like, and visualize or draw out what you think the weapon looks like. Yeah. So, and visualize those two things working in conjunction together. I've actually done that exercise with many people, having them draw out what they think their cancer looks like, and then using the same exercise for drawing out what they think the weapon is and using it against it. And yeah, so other visualizations would include things like what you understand your cancer treatments to be doing and how they affect your body. It's not just about positivity. It's about, visualizing what your life looks like from 5 years from now or 10 years from now and what you want from that. Yeah. I love that. I love that, Frank. Frank says, God moves mountains, but you have to bring the bulldozer. I think that's in a reply there to Terrence, which is awesome, because Terrence said also God moves mountains, but you have to bring the shovel. And Frank is saying, yeah, you need to bring the bulldozer. Got a lot of shoveling here to do, people. That's awesome. I love that. You guys are great. You see Pac-Man's eating the cancer cells. I love that. That's a great, I mean, yeah, if you're old school like us, Anne, you know what Pac-Man is. Waka, 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 waka. Absolutely. Whatever it is that you that you feel like is powerful to you, like a powerful image to you. I routinely, because I'm cancer free, I routinely in my meditation and my prayer ask my body to search and and destroy any rogue cells that might exist. And you know, I tell my body, I'm going to give you all the tools that you need today to do that. I'm going to feed you the right information. I'm going to keep my mindset correct. I'm going to visualize my body whole and heal. I am, you know, incorporating all of those things into my daily, still 6 years later, into my daily routine, so that I am consciously and constantly asking my body to stay cancer free. So that's part of my own personal path that I use there. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'm just kind of sitting here like waiting for questions. So let me just talk while if you guys are typing anything in, let me just talk about next week. I will actually not be around next week. I thought maybe I'd do something on Tuesday night next week. I probably will come in live once, probably maybe not next week, but live from Hawaii. I would like to show you guys the beach that I had my most life-altering experience on. That's awesome, Walter. But I had my most life-altering experience on, which is the beach where I decided how I was going to treat my cancer. And so I probably will pop in and show you guys that this coming week, but I'm not sure when that's going to be. It won't be like a scheduled event. So I'll try to do it on Thursday, which will be in the evening for you guys, which I think will be like, if it's 6 here, that would be like Thursday at like 3 o'clock. So in Hawaii. So we'll see though. We'll see what happens. Terrence saying saying I visualize it not even being an issue in the future, like something or someone that I used to get into a fight with, but no longer even acknowledge the existence of, right? Yeah, it's been taken away forever by God. Yeah, that's awesome, Terrence. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to try to get down to the beach and show you guys that information. So, or show you that particular beach. We'll just do a quick hello. And yeah, so for those of you that don't know, I am traveling to Hawaii, which I have been doing every year since I was diagnosed, about the same time of year. End of January, 1st of February, my husband and I go to Hawaii. My first trip was about a month after I was diagnosed. And now we go back every year about the same time of year, and not even as a celebration of that, but just as such a beautiful time of year to be there. There's a lot of big wave surfing and we love that. But yes, but also just a little bit of remembrance. Yeah, we buy a special Hawaiian flower, and we say a prayer, and yes, and ask for peace and love throughout the year. It's kind of our little new year almost. Yeah, we have Hawaiian New Year. So for those of you that don't know, that's what's going on next week, and where I'll be for the next couple of weeks, actually. So did I get them? No. What? I'm waiting on some new headphones. I'm trying to get rid of I have headphones in my ears all day long, and I just bought new headphones that work with the bone technology, so that they're not in my head all day, right? They're not in my ears all day, to protect my ears a little bit, because I plan to live to be 125 years old, and I need to protect my ears. So yeah, they're very interesting. I'll let you know how they work out. That's awesome, Terrence. That's what you were believing and hoping for. Yeah, Terrence has a celebration here saying my oncologist at the VA just told me that I'm more or less. You never believe them, do you? You need to work on that. You really do. You need to work on that skill set of believing that you're cancer free. Yeah, cured yesterday of the lymphoma. So that's amazing. Congratulations to you, Terrence. That's awesome, awesome, awesome news. So. All right, guys, I'm going to skip out if you don't have any questions here for me this evening. Got a couple emails to write to a couple of you that are waiting on me. So I'm going to get those done. And you guys have a wonderful evening. And if I don't see you in the next couple of weeks, I'll be back like the second week of February for sure for these Cancer Coach Talks. And there's a lot of replays. If you have just joined this group, you can go check out. I love it. I love it. But if you've not checked out the video section of this group, you should go check that out. There are tons of videos there. There's tons of videos on my YouTube channel at Go To Kitchens. If something I said tonight rang a bell with you and you're thinking, huh, I probably need to work on this. This is something that really sticks out to me. Please reach out to me either in direct messages or here in the group. Just tag me anytime you want my attention and I will see it. Tag me at Leslie Nance and I will see it. And thank you guys so much for being here. Aloha, everyone. I will see you in a couple of weeks. You guys have a great evening. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I know, isn't that amazing? Good night, everybody. Bye. See you guys.